My name is Riley, and this is my story.
My parents moved here from Littleton when I was 2, and so this community of Monument is really all I've ever known, and I am so grateful to have grown up here. I mean, as we all know, it's an amazing place. It's, the public schools that we have are like no other place, and I grew up at Prairie Winds, and then I went to LPMS, and I've been at Palmer Ridge for the past 4 years, and it's kind of crazy even sitting here like saying that I'm a senior because it's just been my life for so long, being in D38, and it's kind of crazy that it's all come to a conclusion.
But I remember clearly, and this is the story that I think of most often when I think of elementary school, and it's actually what I wrote many of my college essays about, is there was this one day in 4th grade where it was the day of the Battle of the Books competition, which is just like a little competition where kids answer questions about content of like a list of 50 books that you were supposed to read throughout the school year. Which I'd been preparing for that for a little bit, and then also the spelling bee, which I had won the spelling bee last year, and it didn't really even seem like a big deal, but it was my second spelling bee, and I really wasn't even nervous for that day because I didn't sense this expectation that I had to do well at both those things. It was just kind of within me that I'll probably will win, and it's not like anything that's major. It's not even really an achievement. But when I got to those competitions, I misspelled the word inconvenient at the spelling bee, and that still haunts me to this day, that word. And then I also was eliminated in the alternate round of the Battle of the Books competition. And although, looking back now, I can laugh and say that, that's completely superficial, like those two things really don't matter, and no one's ever going to remember that. My peers probably don't even remember that happened to me.
I was crushed. I don't even know how to describe the emotions that I felt because I don't even know what they were. I don't even know what it was that I was feeling, but I was like completely just almost shell-shocked, like devastated that I just didn't succeed. And it wasn't because I was expecting to or I needed to, it was just because I didn't, and I hadn't even had that experience of failure yet in my life to, understand that it was just something that happened. People failed at a competition, people succeeded, and it wasn't even really failure, it was just not winning. But I literally sobbed underneath the cubbies of my Prairie Winds, which doesn't have doors, it just has cubbies that lead into the classroom, and I couldn't even face my peers because I thought they would be so ashamed of me, so surprised that I didn't win. And it was at that moment, and upon further reflection, I realized it, but it was because I hadn't really ever had that experience of failure. And up until that point, both my brother and I reflect on this now, is we constantly throughout those grades up until that point and then even beyond, our teachers had said, wow, you guys are such good kids, you don't do anything wrong, they are so respectful, they're perfect students. And while that is not harmful, I think the combination of my peers expecting me to do something and the teachers, thinking that I was this perfect kid, I think that was just a really hard thing for 4th grade me to deal with.
I think I'll just say that, externally it looks like I may be achieving a lot, and I know that it, tangibly it seems that those achievements are, very much, they take a lot of work and drive and studying nonstop, and they do. I've displayed that it's not really a big deal because I've had this thing inside of me that's just like, well, it's just how it is, and I don't want people to know that it was really hard. I think I just want to bring awareness to the fact that everybody in this district is facing some sort of achievement pressure.
Like I said, well, I know that this is, not something that is necessarily detrimental or something that is imperative to another person's very real mental health struggles. I know that it's something that deserves, attention as well because it's so widespread and it's normalized. That's the thing, is that it, even if I did say, hey, I got 2 hours of sleep last night, I haven't been doing very well recently, it's kind of the culture of the school to just be like, same, or that's a mood, I totally feel you. But I just have to wonder what would have changed, if anything would have changed, if I hadn't somehow developed such a
such an extreme pressure to achieve, I guess.